Hello guys and welcome. Today I'm going to be showing you some of the new updates incorporated in the new Xbox One update. So if I just go to home, first thing they've done is Kieran's above me. Kieran is a fucking above me. Bullshit. So the first thing they've done is add this sort of leaderboard thing, which is the last 30 days. Basically, if it just load, so I can show. Come on. I don't know if it's gonna load or not. There we go. Okay, so for the last 30 days, it will show, all the different people that are on the leaderboard, and I think it goes to all your friends. I'm not quite sure, but it will show how many gamer points they've earned, or gamer score, however you want to say it. How many they've earned in the past 30 days. And I think this is a really nice feature they've introduced to Xbox One, because the gamer score didn't really serve much of a purpose. It was just there, something that told you you'd done well or you'd done a certain mission. It had no real purpose in that game, in any game in general. There was nothing special about it. It was just there. So if you had more, great. If you had less, who cares? But now there's a sort of competitive side to it, which I kind of like, because it's sort of given, I'm not quite sure how to describe it. It's sort of given it a role within the Xbox Live community in general. So now that you can compete with your friends and say, well, let's see who can do better within the next 30 days. Maybe you decide you're not going to play that much, and maybe you can have an ongoing competition, see who's going to always be best up in each other, seeing who can get the most and trying to get them special achievements that give you ridiculous amount of gamer score. And also it shows you your closest achievements that you are to unlocking. So right here, discovering the ghost story. This one I think is for discovering all the ghost stories. That one's to complete 50 challenges, reach level 5, collect 150 artifacts, something or other. Dagger ruin shots. Oh, I think that's like the things you collect off the captains and stuff like that. And there's that other one for Middle Earth. I don't think this one goes on. I think it's just limited to 6. But another cool feature that they've incorporated is, if I go right here, I've borrowed Sniper Elite 3 off Kieran, but if I say Xbox Snap, you now get this social. Xbox, stop listening. Xbox. It doesn't listen to me. Xbox, stop listening. Xbox, stop listening. There we go. So it's got this. You still have the apps if you just like go along, and you can go through, or you can just say which one you want to go to. But now you have your friends list that can go, right down the side, and then you have your achievements, so you can just go through and have a look. I hope I don't have to wait for that to load. But yeah, you can look through your achievements and just see which ones are for that actual game that you're in. This is quite a nice feature, I think, because you can look at which achievements you have left and which ones you have unlocked. Obviously I've not played this yet, so you've also got the party app straight from there. Make that invite only, else I could get joined. They have inserted a kind of messenger, kind of like a phone messenger. So let's just wait until it loads, and then I'll show you Okay, so this is mine and Kieran's. As you can see, I've been. He was sending me messages, but for some reason they don't show up. Which one's one that will show up? Oh yeah, here we go. So these. Okay, maybe that's not the most appropriate messages. But this is just sort of a example. So it works exactly like a messenger. If I just send eggs. Let's go with eggs. There we go. Oops. And there you go. It just shows up in the chat. You don't have to click reply. That was me pressing it dodgy. You can delete the conversation. You can open their profile, or you could just close. So right here, I'm just going to delete this conversation. And the way to get back into that conversation is that you have to go to new message, and you have to add them just like you would before. But that's just something that I think is quite cool, how they've, you know, messages and sort of looking at your game were very hard before on the Xbox 360. You know, you had to play by play to see which achievements and stuff you had and who was doing better, and there was no way to really tell. But you've got game DVR in there as well, so it's basically just put all, you know, the social things that you would want to have on your fingertips, like you can have on PC with the sort of Steam app, with the side of you can't really. I mean, I know Internet Explorer's on here, but you can't really use it while you're in game. You can't just like shift out of it and then go back in as soon as you're finished. Maybe you can't just like be playing Call of Duty. You're playing Search and Destroy. You died. Shift out, shift back in as soon as you respawn. It doesn't work like that on console, and I don't think that will ever be a factor of it. But what I do think is updates like these are why I bought an Xbox One rather than a PS4. I will be buying a PS4, and so will Kieran, for the exclusives like Order 1980 or 18 whatever. I can't remember, 1870 or 1880 or 1890. I can't remember. But we'll be buying a PS4 for the exclusives. Do gameplays, but mainstream games like Call of Duty, in cross-platform games, so games that are both on Xbox One and PS4, I will probably end up buying on Xbox One. Maybe if they have sort of a better standing on the PS4, because like I know some games run better on different consoles because they're designed better for them. That was the basis. Like I know a lot of people were giving Xbox One a lot of hassle because of ghosts, and I know you could notice it within the difference. But the problem with Ghosts is it was a last gen game ported over. Now the thing PlayStation did is they used similar, not the same, but very similar, you know, drivers and stuff that run the PS4. Whereas Xbox, they kind of said, well, we're going to start fresh. So they rebuilt their drivers. They actually built their drivers. They didn't just use them. Because Microsoft's a very big company. So Sony, but you know, that's a bit off topic. So yeah, and Xbox, it's not using its full power. Help! I said power! Fuck's sake. It's not using its full capabilities at the moment. Like it, and I think there's going to be a lot more to see from Xbox with updates, you know, there's going to be updates where I think there's going to be some, not hardware updates, but software updates that are going to allow the hardware to work better. I do know when Xbox One was released, there was some issues because the GPU was actually also running on for the Kinect. I don't know why they did that. I think it was just to give the Kinect a bit extra power, but it turns out that that wasn't helping at all, and so they decided that they were going to move that power back to the Xbox and put it in games. And the first game that really did the Xbox One justice, whereas it didn't so much for the PS4, is Watch Dogs. Now I know Watch Dogs looks really good on both, and I've seen it played on both, and they play really good. But I have noticed on the PS4 that the frames do drop. Not so much, but they drop about 10 to 15 frames in hefty situations. So if you're getting into a massive car chase, if you're doing a lot of fighting in a surrounded area, if there's a lot of explosions, it tends to drop about 10 to 15 frames. So you're looking sometimes even as much as 30 or 40 frames it drops, but that's in really drastic situations. So you're looking, when it's dropping, it's okay, it's getting around 30 frames, but with all the explosions and stuff, it just makes it look horrible. Whereas with the Xbox, it runs smooth in all situations, and I think that's not because they've capped it, but because they capped the rating of it, if that makes any sense. So they didn't cap it at 60 frames. Well, they did. They capped all games at 60 frames now, but what I mean is they capped, they sort of made it so it won't drop below 50 frames. So they've made it so it'll just skyrocket if it wasn't capped at 60. So you never have to worry about it dropping below 50, which I think is quite a good feature, quite a good way of making it. Whereas PlayStation, they make a lot of software, but they're no good with hardware. And I think that's where Microsoft's skill really comes in, because Sony are known for making, software and little small devices. They're not known for really making, PlayStation's the only sort of hardware kind of thing they make that's decent. But it's not the best of software that they make. I do like, I use Sony Vegas, and I just love to use that software. But when it comes to hardware, they're kind of a novice at it, compared to the vast skill that and experience that Microsoft has. So I think that's what really lets it down. But let me know in the comment section who you think is going to end up being better within the next year or so. Right now, I know there's going to be a lot of people disagreeing with me, and I know there's going to be a few people who agree with me, and probably most of these decisions will be based on fanboys, because, we posted a video, Kieran posted a video comparing the two graphics of PlayStation's 4 Watch Dogs and Xbox One's Watch Dogs, and you could see how bad PlayStation 4 was. You could just see it, and because it was terrible. And because of all these differences, I think Xbox One's going to come out on top, because in the long run, Sony has better campaigns, I'm going to say, for their exclusives. You got Halo, and I love Halo, But exclusive games, I think they're better on PlayStation 4. So you got like the Uncharted series. That's a great game. I'm basically buying a PS4 for order. 18 whatever it is, or 19 whatever it is. But I am going to be buying all sorts of exclusive games. So yeah, that is basically the top and bottom of this update and what I think about this update and where I think PlayStation 4 and Xbox One are going to be in a year or so. I'd say about a year to a year and a half. I think, see, last time round Xbox had the down hand on hardware and they still came out on top overall. So it's going to be interesting to see when the hardware is on equal grounds. Xbox just going to do what they've been known to do in past Sony, even when they've had lesser hardware, or are they going to you know, stay level with Sony, or is Sony going to beat them? To be honest, I know a lot of people have given their judgments out fully, but I think it's too early to tell. Like, I don't understand how you can judge consoles that are practically newborn. I mean, they're coming out with updates every other month to fix their problems, and they're coming out with updates to improve their systems. So until we sort of wait a year or so, we're not going to know really if these consoles are going to fail or if they're going to fly. So we'll just have to see. So thank you guys for watching. Please comment, rate and subscribe.